Hi guys, Greg Doyle here, Eat, Sleep, Boxing, Repeat. Feels like ages since I last spoke to you guys, but I suppose the boxing world has been quiet as of late with the off season. My first prediction video I'm here to talk to you guys about this week is the upcoming heavyweight battle between Hughie, who is 23-2, and Alexander Povetkin, who is 34-2. So as you guys know, this takes place on the Lomachenko Campbell bill at the O2, 31st of August. So I'll give you a quick background into what both guys' strengths are and how I see the fight going. So let's get right into it. So looking at this fight, I've had a look at the bookmakers' odds and things, and Povetkin is the favourite, maybe rightly so. He is former world heavyweight champion. He hurt Anthony Joshua in his last fight. He's got some tremendous experience of fighting Vladimir Klitschko, etc. So it is quite easy to see why the bookmakers fancy Povetkin a lot in the fight, whereas Hughie, he's had a couple of tough losses, but he is a guy who I think is a very good boxer. He had that loss, didn't he, where he went over to Bulgaria and fought Pulev, and I think a lot of things just got on top of him. I think it was maybe the crowd and the atmosphere and being away out in Bulgaria, etc. So he had that defeat, and then he had the split decision defeat to Joseph Parker. So that was also a tough one to take for him, and that was actually for the world heavyweight title. That was when Parker was WBO champion. So where I can see this fight being won on Saturday, if I'm Alexander Povetkin, I think you've got to put Hughie under intense pressure, constantly press the action, keep moving your head going forward, and keep Hughie thinking. If, from experience, I've known this myself, if someone pushes you on the back foot an awful lot, that's actually more energy zapping than going on the front foot pressing the action. If you're constantly having to move and do circles to the ring, it can be really energy consuming. So that's something that I think Alexander needs to do, and also to let his hands go inside. We know that with how tall and long his arms are, Fury's not going to be greatly gifted on the inside. So Alexander, he really needs to fire in when he's on the inside and try and land some uppercuts, hooks over the top of the guard and things, and that's where I see his best keys to victory being, along with his power. We do know that he can punch quite hard. If I'm Hughie, the keys to victory for me are, you've got to keep things long. You've got to use your jab, use your movement. Now that sounds as though I'm basically going against everything that I just said in terms of energy and going on the back foot and the front foot, but Hughie is a pretty good back foot fighter. Use your jab, because Povetkin's getting on now. I mean, what age is he? He's early 40s, Alexander Povetkin. So how long is he going to be able to keep that head movement up for and keep pressing the action? So use your jab, make him work, make him try and get underneath your jab, chop down the right hand, but most of all important, for the first 6 rounds, don't get involved. Just keep him on the end of your jab and don't go chasing the action too much. But that's where I see both guys' strengths from and where they could potentially win the fight if they can execute those game plans. Now, on to prediction time, and I'm going to take a little minute or two to talk about this because I think it's a very tough fight to call. I think it's really going to matter where the fight is going to be won, I should say, is what's going to happen in the first 3-4 rounds of the fight. If Fury can stay out of trouble, ping his jab, is Povetkin going to get even older than he already is overnight? Let's remember, Alexander Povetkin has had 2 fights in 18 months, and he's not having those 2 fights in 18 months as a 28-year-old man. He's basically in his 40s now, Povetkin. So I think that's going to count for something huge, and I'm also a big believer in stepping up to the plate when the pressure's on. With all due respect, if you're fighting a journeyman and you're Hughie, or not even a journeyman, I'll give you a better example. If you're fighting Samuel Peter, who is former world champion, but you think, I should really win this because he's been out for a long time. Sometimes these fights are hard to get up for, especially if Peter bangs you with 1 or 2 in the jaw and you think, I didn't expect that, because you think he's been inactive, he's been out for so long. But I think Fury's going to have the fear factor about him. with this fight on Saturday, and I can see him potentially widely outpointing Alexander Povetkin, or perhaps even getting him out of there late in the second half of the fight. I just think with Povetkin's inactivity and his age, and also how much did the Joshua fight take out? And remember, this is the fight he's coming off of, getting knocked out, and it wasn't like he got stopped. He got decked heavily against Anthony Joshua. And as I say, when you're 27, 28, you can maybe come back from that, but when you're 40 and you've been very inactive, it's difficult to see that if you can do that. So my prediction for Saturday night's fight between Hughie Fury and Alexander Povetkin is for Hughie Fury to win late in the second half of the fight, or potentially a wide points decision. If you want to see more from me, my name's Greg Doyle. As I say, I write for Eat, Sleep, Box and Repeat. You can catch us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Thanks very much, guys.